Hey, everybody. I'm glad you're here. I want to tell you, I was quite surprised when I went on early and I saw I had so many people in here. I wanted to thank uh, that y'all just couldn't wait to see me. I missed Wednesday night. I'm really sorry about that, but I'll tell you, I've had this flu thing going on and it's been, oh man, it's been, well, Monday will be 15 days I've had this. Hopefully, I'll be over it tomorrow or the next day. But anyway, I'm here now. And I am feeling better. I want to thank all of you for your prayers, Linda Horner especially, and Margot. Thank you so much. And of course, my dear friend, uh, Dangerous Freedom, as well as with Margot Dahlgren, Linda Horner, Propis, all these great people that popped in here. Tonight we're gonna do a little story. We're gonna do a little deal on what's going on with the Second Amendment. Thank you, Dangerous Freedom. I appreciate that. I'm trying, brother. But I want to gather people in here, and for people who come in uh, after the live stream and catch it on the replay, I want you to, to if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Hit the like button, all of you, on your way in or your way out. Hit that like button. It helps me get a little higher on the recommended list. Leave me comments. I always love to get comments from my friends. And I try to at least give you a heart and a thumbs up. And many times I try to leave comments. Hit the bell icon so you'll know when I'm going live. And I know, hello, Propis. How you doing, brother? Glad you're here. And, my PayPal, I don't push my PayPal around. I don't solicit money. I don't beg for money. I don't ask for anything. Uh, if you'd like to contribute to my channel to help me grow, that's great. My PayPal will be somewhere in the chat. Surely some of my mods will put it out there. And if not, it's no big deal because I'm not here to make money. I'm here to spread the word of our Lord Jesus Christ and the truth of our nation. And that's all I'm here for. I'm not here to make money, but I am here to make friends. Gary Holland, so good to see you. And Fred Nault, my dear friend. Chris Link and Willman 757, of course. I know your fireplace had a flu, but it ain't the flu like I've had, brother. But anyway, I am doing better. I have an internet phone number if I can find it here. And I noticed today that for some reason, I've had some phone calls on this number, but for some reason I didn't get them until they were already gone. So I've tried to contact y'all who have called this phone number. So if I'm not here, leave me a message. If you want to come on my live stream, or if you just want to talk about the issues, or if you have a topic you'd like for me to research and discuss, contact me, text me. Anyway, I always love to hear from my friends. And Pete the Patriot, my dear brother, so glad you're here. You're the first person on my list for a shout out, Pete the Patriot. I want you to remember Pete the Patriot. He's a great man. He's got great content. He always puts out alerts when he's going live. I can't keep up with everybody, believe it or not. I mean, there's so many people going live. I don't know when everybody goes, but Pete the Patriot is a man that you need to follow. He's a true patriot. He tells you the truth. And you can count on everything he says to be 100% correct to the best of his understanding. That's all we can do is put the best we can out there. Chris Link, glad to see you, brother. We have DM the mod. I don't know if I'll see her tonight, Fred, but maybe you'll talk to her before the night's over. But I'll tell you, DM the mod is one fantastic lady. Check her out. We're trying to get her over 1,000 before the first of the year. So let's go check out DM Damod. And it's DM space DA space mod, MOD. She's the best mod going on YouTube, I guarantee you. There she is. I see DM Damod. I was just giving you a shout out, my dear friend. And we have History B. You have to check out History B. She's our history teacher in the Patriot family. And I'm going to tell you that lady, uh, she has a job where she has to go to work every day and she has to deal with all of these libtards and all of these demon rat socialist people in education. So always keep History B in your prayers, because I'll tell you, she has a tough, tough job every day when she goes to work. So History B, my prayers are with you, and keep doing what you're doing. We have Sandra Ann McGibbon. You can find her at SA McGibbon. She's a deep diver. She researches things. She brings great content. She's a true patriot and a true supporter of the Patriot family. We have California Critic. He's a new guy. He needs some subscribers. We have God Blessed America in here. Thank you, sir, for coming. And he says, Knights Armory, Pick the Patriot, Chris Link, Fred No. Okay, Knights Armory, I didn't see you. Glad you're here, brother. I'm fixing to give you a shout out too. But check out California Critic. Subscribe to his channel. He's got some good content. We're trying to get him some subscribers as well. And we have Tony Patriot. Tony Patriot is the one that named our family the Patriot family. And Tony is a true patriot, and he works hard. He works hard every day at 2 jobs to provide for his family, but he has time to be part of our family and to bring us great content and entertainment. So check out Tony Patriot. Knights Armory on Saturday and Sunday mornings. Sometimes he goes live on Saturday nights, but check him out on Saturday and Sunday mornings. Have your coffee and breakfast with him. He's a great guy. He's a gun guy, knife guy. Matter of fact, if I can get my stuff worked out, just to give Knights Armory a big shout out, I bought this K-bar from Knights Armory, and I'm going to tell you, people, it's a beautiful knife, fine quality. It will shave you. But Knights Armory, if you want a knife, go to Knights Armory. He's got them for you. If you want a throwing hatchet, he's got those too. Hey, Becky Taylor, glad to see you. And I lost my papers. There we go. But I want to thank American Joe. American Joe Show has been a true patriot and a great friend. And he helped me in the very beginning. When I first got started, he helped me get my first few hundred subscribers. So I thank American Joe. Check him out. Disabled Vets Perspective. Check out Alex on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. He comes on right before me on Sunday night, but he also comes with videos throughout the week. So check out Disabled Vets Perspective. I guarantee you he won't steer you wrong. And if you're a veteran, you need to tune into Disabled Vets Perspective, because he gives you great information on the Veterans Administration hospitals and their all the stuff that's going on with the VA today. So check out Disabled Vets Perspective. We have Florida Jim. Florida Jim is really a great guy. He's one of those kind of guys. He's going to give you a message, but then he's going to leave you with a chuckle. He's got radio experience. He's got stand-up comedy experience. So check out Florida Jim. Florida Jim is a transplant, like most people in Florida are. So go check out Florida Jim and help this Yankee get more Southern. He's a great guy. Check him out. I promise you, he'll leave you with a laugh. And then you have Dangerous Freedom in Arizona. This is a prepper gun guy who has become one of my dearest friends. And I'm going to tell you, it's a blessing just to know him. Check him out. He's got a channel. He does a few short videos. He's not like me. He doesn't go on forever, but he'll throw little stuff out there for you. That'll make you laugh and make you go, or what's that? So check him out. He's a great guy and a great patriot. And of course, Liberty Smith, he's starting to do a little bit too. He's starting to put some stuff out there. I had to ag him on, but he has started. So check out Liberty Smith, and I'm going to be done with my shout outs for now. I'll probably shout out other people. Sandra Ann McGibbon, so glad you're here. I just gave you a big shout out, and as well as DM Damad, Lynn M. Glad you're here. And I'm going to tell you, the way it goes is we are a patriot family, and we need to all stick together. I mean, the time is coming on December 10th. I don't know if I'm going to lose my channel. I don't know what's actually going to happen. I've read all the press releases and everything about what's going to happen with YouTube after December 10th. But until then, I'm not going to really worry about it, because on December 8th, on Wednesday night, I have, and I am so proud to say this, I have two of my dear friends, DM and History V, are going to join me on December 8th on my live stream. And that will be a pleasure and a blessing to everybody. It's going to be fun. So I'm really glad that I'm going to have DM Damad and History V on my channel December 8th. It may be 2 days before we're taken down, but we're going to get them out there, and we're going to have a good show that night. I'm trying to have a good show every night, but it doesn't always work. You know, I've been sick for the last 14 days pretty much, and I'm getting a little better. But it seems like at nighttime, that's when my sinuses want to act up and I get a little hoarse. You know, my eyes start itching and bloodshot. But even though they're itching, ladies, you can look at my eyes. I do have pretty blue eyes. But anyway, they're still blue, but bloodshot. So anyway, James Wells, I know that's you, Darlene. So glad to see you, Darlene. She always comes on her husband's channel, and I know it's her. And God bless America. Glad to see you, brother. We're going to talk a little bit tonight on the Second Amendment. And I'll tell you, I got to thinking. I went today to pick up a gun that I'd purchased. And I went today to pay the last payment on it and pick it up. Well, I got to the gun store, and I bought this shotgun. It's sawed off. It's a Mossberg 590 with a Raptor pistol grip, 16-inch barrel. Great gun. And I bought this carbine, 20-round clip. So I had no problems. I walked in, I filled out my paperwork, I got my guns, and I walked out. Well, today I went to pick up my new 9mm Smith & Wesson, and they flagged me. Can you believe that? The Georgia Bureau of Investigation flagged me. I don't know what for. I guess I'll find out in 7 days. They told me that in 7 days to come back, and they would give me a update on my application to buy this weapon. Well, I've never had trouble buying weapons. I've bought guns of all sorts for years and years. And here all of a sudden they flagged me. So I don't know if it's something that just happens. Maybe I came up on the number that they check. I don't know if they have they go through so many and then they check one or two. I don't know how they do it. But anyway, I got flagged. So I didn't get to bring my gun home. So now I got to wait 7 days to go back and make sure that I can still buy it, even though it's paid for. So they may have to give me my money back. I mean, maybe they don't like my YouTube. Maybe you don't like the fact that I have guns and knives hanging behind me. I don't know. You never know what's going to happen with the deep state and with the way things work in politics. And that's just the way it is. I mean, you don't know. You really have no idea what's going on in our government, our country, or anything else, because they all do it on the low. And then when they do it, they act like they didn't do nothing, but yet here we are, and we're reaping the rewards of the deep state's plans and desires and everything else that they want to do. But see, that's what we're here for. We're here to foil the deep state's plans. As patriots, we are here to look them in the eye, bump them in the chest, stand toe to toe, and need be, spit in their face and knock their sorry butts out, because they want to take us out. So and you all know that. So we have to know that the deep state exists. It has existed for a long time, and it's just getting deeper and deeper and deeper all the time. No matter how hard Trump tries to drain the swamp, there's more swamp creatures coming in behind those, and some that we know of, and some that are behind the scenes that are never mentioned. But I want to tell you, people, it's all going to boil down to one thing, and that one thing is going to be how we react to what they do, how we react to whatever they try to throw in front of us. So we know as patriots that we are going to be confronted. We know that we are going to be attacked. We're going to be put down. We're going to be laid low, and they're going to do everything they can to keep American patriots down. Well, I'm going to tell you, my dear friends and patriots, we are not down. We're standing, and we're standing strong with our chest pumped out, with guns in our hands, and standing beside the President of the United States. I'm not going to get into this impeachment crap. I'm going to tell you, it's been roughed over by everybody, and there's nothing more that I can add to it. I know you've heard it all, and so have I. So we're not even going to go there. But I want to touch on a few facts. And these are real facts. And it's facts about guns in the United States of America. And these are facts that we can't overlook. This is how it is. So we need to make up our minds what we're going to do about it. But you know, in the U.S., guns are a major part of American society, and they always have been. You know, and I believe we have a Second Amendment to the Constitution because our forefathers knew that it was the only way to ensure that we would never have to face tyranny. You know, we wouldn't accept tyranny, just like our ancestors revolted against England. And never again would America bow to the British. You know, we sent the British back to where they came from. Well, I don't think we can send these demon rats back where they came from. I'm not going to say the words because I don't want to have this video banned. But the only way to send these demon rats back to where they came from is to do you know what. And we can't talk about that. And I don't advocate that we do that. But the time will come, my friends, if things don't get better, the time's going to come and there will be shots fired. And I'm sorry to say, for them, they're going to be on the losing side. And we're going to talk about that. You know, we're going to talk about our right to keep and bear arms and how it's an essential fact that gives all Americans a personal sense of freedom. See, we have freedom to keep and bear arms. We have the freedom of speech. We have all the Constitution and all these amendments, and they're for our good. And we have to utilize those amendments. We have to stand on them and be proud of them and use them to our benefit. You know, it's an essential fact that the Second Amendment gives all Americans a personal sense of freedom to protect our families, our possessions, ourselves, and our way of life. We have that right to defend ourselves. Today in America, 30% of adults own firearms. Well, from what I heard today or read today, they said that there's enough guns in America to where every American could have 4 or 5 guns. Well, you should have 4 or 5 guns. You need a long gun. You need a shotgun. You need a pistol. you need a carbine or an M16, AR-15, whatever. You need a long-range gun. So you can get away with 4, but why not have 5? I mean, why not? You got 4, you might as well have 5. I plan on having a lot more than 5. Maybe that's why they flagged me today when I tried to pick up my pistol. That's paid for, by the way. But anyway, they say that 48% of adults grew up in a home where guns were kept. And, the adults of today, whose parents, you know, these people are like me. I'm an old man. Maybe you grew up in the 60s and 70s or 80s. I grew up in the 50s and 60s. I remember when everybody had a gun. I mean, at the age of 10 years old, my dad bought me a Remington 22 nylon 66 semi-automatic 22 rifle. And he also bought me a Mossberg 12 gauge shotgun when I was 10 years old. It had a poly choke on the end of it where you could tighten it down to a full modified or improved choke. That's just a spread of the shot. Once you shoot it out of the shotgun, you can, a full is closed pattern, and modified and improved is a bigger pattern. But anyway, so I've been around guns all my life. My dad used to take us shooting every weekend. And I grew up in the country, and I was real big on shooting rats. We and everything else, and of course in the barn you're going to have rats. Well, I was actually sick for 2 years. I had a bad case of hepatitis, and I was chronic for 2 years, so I couldn't be around anybody because I was contagious for almost that entire time. So what I did was I put a little hole in my screen in my window, and I had my brother, when he'd feed the horses in the morning, we had feed boxes nailed onto some trees out there in the paddock, and I'd tell him to sprinkle around some horse feed on the ground, and these rats would come out during the day and eat that horse feed, and I'd just pop them off with that 22. So I've been shooting all my life. So we need to remember that today in America, everybody that's my age grew up with guns in their houses. And there's no reason for there not to be guns in every house in America today. Kennesaw, Georgia is about 12 miles from here. And they actually have a law in that little town that you must own a firearm. Of course, they're not going to come to your house and say, okay, we want to see your weapon. They're not going to do that. But what they did by enacting that law was made it possible for every person in that town of Kennesaw to have firearms in their house and never have to worry about the police coming to take them away, as long as you are a good citizen that doesn't break the law, and you're in good standing with everybody. But 72% of American citizens have actually fired a weapon. Can you believe that? So now we have 72% of Americans have fired weapons. 48 or 58% have grew up with guns in the house. And now everybody wants to take our guns away. What have we done? Have we laid down? Have we opened the door for these panty waist liberals to come in and say, oh no, you can't have guns. Guns are bad. Well, let me tell you something. Guns are bad in the wrong hands. They certainly are. But I'm going to tell you, a gun is also your best friend in the time of need. A gun is your best friend when you need to protect yourself, your family, or your possessions or country. Your gun will be your best friend. I'm not advocating that everybody go out and buys an AR-15. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that every person should have a weapon in their house for home protection. Everybody should have a gun. If you have small children, I'm not telling you, don't lock that thing up in a box. Don't leave the ammo in one box and the gun in another box and it broken down. No. You need that gun loaded, and you need it accessible if you ever need it. You know, it comes with training and understanding and teaching. You know, I had kids all my life. I had two daughters, uh, my God, and they knew I had guns. They knew where my gun was, but they knew to never, ever touch it. It was not for them. They never once touched my weapon. Of course, my weapon stayed with me. You know, if I was sitting in my recliner, I might lay it on the coffee table or on the end table or somewhere just to get it off my side, but I always carry a weapon. They knew it, and they knew that weapon was mine, and they knew that if they touched it, it was going to be their little butts. So you can teach your kids to stay away from guns, and then when they get old enough, like my dad did with me, teach them about guns, teach them gun safety. Gun safety is paramount to owning a gun. If you are not safe with a weapon, you don't need to have one. If you don't know how to be safe with a weapon, you don't need to have one. And if you do have one, you need to know how it operates. You need to know how to take it apart. You need to know how to clean it and put it back together and keep it in prime working condition. If you can't do that, you don't need to own a gun, because a gun is not something for prestige. A gun is not something that you tell your people, oh, yeah, I got a gun. Yeah, I got one at home. Yeah, I keep one on my bedside. Well, yeah, but if you don't know how to use it, you don't know how to take it apart and clean it and put it back together, and if you don't know gun safety, you need to get rid of that gun or learn, which is my recommendation. Become gun aware, become smart when it comes to weapons. Because the time's going to come, if you don't have a weapon, you're going to be in trouble. You know, I know many gun owners, and most, have multiple firearms. I do. I know Dangerous Freedom does, and many others have multiple firearms. And, I know there are a lot of them that are not in the registry. I have a few myself that are not registered anywhere. Or if they are, they're registered to somebody I don't even know. But of course, the weapons I'm buying now, I'm buying from a legal gun store. And of course, they're going to have a record that I have these weapons. But I don't care that they know I have these weapons. They're not going to come take them. I'll tell you that. They won't take them. And if they do take them, well, we'll get to that in a minute. Let me get back to my script here. I'm talking about the all so dangerous assault weapons. But the left's hatred of guns and gun owners goes much deeper than just the AR style weapons. They want your handguns, your shotguns, because they're being targeted as well by the fearful, leftist, socialist, satanic, progressive demon rats. And I hope I said enough. If I could come up with another term, I'd use it too, Fred Knopp. Spirit Talker, glad you're here. Joshua Conlon, my dear friend. John T. Cash, glad you're here. But you see, we have to, pardon me, I'm still got the sniffles, but I'm getting better. But we have to be aware. And today, when they turned me down and flagged me on buying a handgun, that just set me off. So y'all just got to abide with me here for a little bit, and maybe I'll get it all out of my system. Luciano and Gary Holland, Joshua Conlon, Chris Link, CLC in Florida. So glad you're here. Lynn M, Willman 757, Philip Turner. If you don't know Philip Turner, go check out his channel. He's got some great music. He writes his own stuff. He plays his own stuff. And I'll tell you what, Philip, I'd like to get with you sometime, and maybe we could jam a little bit. It'd be a lot of fun, I think. But owning guns affords us the ability to protect ourselves from the wishing to cause harm people. Does that make sense? We have people that want to cause us harm. We have people that want to hurt us. We have people that want to take what we have. We have criminals in America. Protection is the top of my list. And it's the main reason that I own guns, is to protect myself, my family, and my possessions from those who would want to take them. Angela Rouse, glad to see you. Get my service dog today. We're training. Great. That's so good. You're going to love your service dog. I don't know what kind you're getting, but I'll tell you, service dogs are fantastic. I've had the opportunity to be around service dogs, and when I worked in the medical field, and I'm going to tell you, they are great companions, and they do their job, and all their job is to love, and they are great for that. So I'm glad you're getting a service dog, and I hope it's one that you can bond with well, because that's part of it. Have at it, Bobby. We'll be the sounding board. Thank you, Chelsea in Florida. Philip Turner, yeah, less than 100 miles between us. We'll need to get together one Saturday evening or Saturday afternoon and get together. But of course, we have many of our own guns for hunting and for sport shooting, or just because of their occupation requires that they own a gun, like cops and security guards and arson investigators and people like that. But I know that regardless, if you live in the city or the suburbs or in the country, protection should be the number one reason that you own a gun. Protection is the number one reason that you should own a gun. The Dems in America want to restrict our gun laws in an effort to unarm us. They want to take the guns out of the hands of we patriots, Angela Rouse. They want to take our guns, Dangerous Freedom. I'm going to tell you, that's their main plan. Dems don't, they don't want to be around American patriots. They don't want us to have the ability and the internal personal resolve to use our weapons, if ever needed, to protect America and ourselves. See, that's a scary thing when you stop and think about it, actually, about what this means. It's a crying shame that here in America we need to arm ourselves against our own people. But that's what's happening. You've seen it in these impeachments. You've seen it all through Trump's presidency. You saw it all through the Clinton years and the Obama years, and you've seen how they want the downfall of America, how we have the four horsewomen of the apocalypse: Ilhan Omar, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Rashida Tlaib, and that Annie Ann Presley, even though she never says nothing. But you've got these four horsewomen of the apocalypse, these freshman senators, if you'll have it. Well, they're freshman senators. Well, guess what? They're coming up for re-election. And I'm hoping and I'm praying, and if I could, I'd campaign for anybody but them. So maybe we might lose one or two of them from the Congress. I'm looking maybe to see Rashida Tlaib go away and Ilhan Omar. I don't know if horseface Alexandria Cortez is going to go away or not, because she's so far up Bernie Sanders' butt that she can't see tomorrow. But even so-called Republicans are siding with these demon rats to restrict some, if not most, gun owners from the ability to use their Second Amendment rights. Well, yeah, we do. We have Republicans, rhinos, Republican in name only. Oh, yeah, they're going to side with the Democrats on this. They're going to want to take our guns away as well. It doesn't matter to me what they do. Americans are divided, on if gun bans or restriction on illegal guns would lead to fewer mass shootings or murders at all. And I'm going to say no, it won't. It won't. Do you think for a minute by restricting legal gun ownership that you're going to stop these murders and these killings? Come on, people. Get your head out of the sand, Democrats. Look at it for what it is. We live in a gun culture, and that's just the way it is. Maybe someday we'll be in a laser culture. You know, everybody be shooting laser at each other. But they're still going to be just as bad. So what are they going to do? Take those away as well? Well, Dems say gun owners are responsible for the actions carried out by some very disturbed and literally crazy people. And these people commit mass murder and heinous crimes. And they say if it wasn't for the Second Amendment, Dems would absolutely try to unarm we gun owners. They would try to unarm us gun owning American patriots. And they would say it's to end the violence. Well, the violence isn't coming from us. I'm sure everybody's heard every time there's a mass shooting or something, some kind of terrible shooting going on, it's always a right wing individual. You know, it's always somebody on the right. They say, oh, he's from the alt right. Well, let me tell you something. I'm right. I stand on the right side of politics and on the right hand of God. And I'm not alt right. I have no intention of being alt right. You're either right or you're left. But we have the alt left and the alt right, the extremes on both ends. And that makes it almost impossible for us, right and left, to even try to work something out. Because we've always got these feelers coming in from the alt left and the alt right, feeding into us, making us all look bad. So what are we going to do about that? I don't know. But what I do know is I've always said, if guns are outlawed, then only the outlaws will have guns. Duh. Does that make sense? It isn't rocket science. You take the guns out of good American patriots, the only people that have guns are going to be the criminals. They're not going to take their guns. Well, Lord, no. Why would they take their guns? Then that would... I'm not going to go there. That's a different video. But they allow this stuff to happen. And they do it. And they know they're doing it. And they're not going to stop. That's why at all these protests and these rallies, you know, where Antifa's involved, and you have people like the Proud Boys and these other groups, you know, who gets arrested? It's not the Antifa thugs who are hitting people over the head with pipes and batons and throwing caustic chemicals in their faces. No, it's going to be the patriots who are standing on their side of the line, doing nothing wrong, but they're going to be the ones to be arrested. You know, my belief is that the argument for the outlawing of guns is flawed any way you look at it. There's no way they can outlaw guns. You know, to outlaw guns, you only outlaw the guns, and I contend we'll have a Mad Max situation. You come and try to take our guns away from American loving patriots. And what do you think you're going to find? Are you going to find some little mealy-mouthed Adam Schiff-looking sucker handing you his guns? Or he's going to say, well, I don't have any guns. I'm scared of guns. Fine. Don't come to my house looking for a gun. Because it's going to be a Mad Max scenario, and I promise you that. They'll never take my guns. Unless they get them one bullet at a time. And I'm probably going to say that again before this is over. I'm sorry I'm so distraught tonight, or distraught, because I can't believe they flagged me and wouldn't let me pick up a gun I've already paid for. That just eats my lunch. But that's okay. They can do whatever they want to Bobby. Bobby's prepared anyway. That one little handgun's not going to stop anything that I might ever need to do if I'm pushed to it. If only criminals had guns, we as a nation of people would be at risk every single day of our lives. We'd be victims to gun-toting crooks and thieves and thugs. Law-abiding citizens would literally be outgunned. If we fall prey to these demon rats gun confiscation schemes like red flag laws. Granted, there's people who don't need to have guns. That's a fact. But it's not the place of the government to intercede. It's surely not. You know, if we as patriots want to be true patriots and we want to maintain our weapons and keep our guns and keep the left away from us, what we need to do is police our own. We need to police our own. I'll guarantee you, if I had anybody in my family that I knew had weapons and I knew that he was psychotic, delusional, or whatever it is he is or she is, and she wants to go kill people, I'm not going to allow that to happen. Either I'll take their guns and call the police, or I'll let the police come and take them. But I'm not going to allow anybody, not even my own brother, to go ape crazy with a weapon. A weapon is meant to be for protection and defense. It's not meant to be used by American patriots as an assault weapon unless we have already been assaulted and we're in retaliation. And that opens the door to a whole nother topic. You know, look at it this way, my dear American patriot friends. Look at it this way. If we refuse to forfeit our guns, then we would be disobeying the law. If they called for a gun confiscation and we said no, or if they came to our house and we said no, well, then we're breaking the law. That means now we're criminals. So I guess the story of only outlaws will have guns, I guess we're outlaws now because we didn't turn over our guns freely to the police or the government or whatever agency came to confiscate your guns. So now we're criminals because we say, no, you're not going to take our guns. I'm not going to allow you to take our guns. You know, honestly, I would give you, would you give up your guns? Would you really? If they came knocking on your door, would you give up your guns? Would you hand them over freely? If you were ordered to give them your guns, would you do it? I wouldn't. And I would hope that you wouldn't either. You know, gun haters say that we have armed law enforcement to protect us, and we don't need to have guns because the police are protecting us. But the truth of the matter is this fact. Law enforcement would arrive on the scene and find you already dead from being shot by a criminal because you don't have a gun to protect yourself anymore. We're relying on the police. Come on. How long does it take the cops to get to the scene of a crime? It doesn't take long, but it doesn't take near as long to kill somebody or have somebody kill you. So now the cops show up at your house after you call 911, and guess what? There you are laying in a puddle of blood, dead, because you gave your guns to the cops when they came to get them, and now you're innocent, but yet you're dead. So what good is that? Never give your guns up. Never give them to anybody, to the government or any agency coming calling. Never give up your guns. You know what you need to do at that point is just call the coroner. Don't even call the cops, because the killer's going to be long gone and he'll never be found anyway. And that's what's going to happen if they take your guns. They're not taking mine, I promise you. Declaring guns illegal is an open invitation to an underground black market. It's going to be just like drugs. See, if they want to end legal guns, well, then they'll all become illegal. It'll be contraband, just like heroin. It'll be trafficked. Well, the price is going to go up, but people are going to pay the price because they need a gun, especially the outlaws and the crooks. Banning something doesn't eliminate the demand for it. We have to understand that. But these demon rats can't see that just because you eliminate it, it doesn't stop the demand. Look at the banned drug situation. There are more illegal drugs in the United States right now than ever before. So banning something will not make it go away. It will not make it go away. Fred Knott, Alex, Disabled Vets Perspective, Angela Rouse, Dangerous Freedom, Sandra Ann McGibbon. And I know I'm trying to get through this because I don't know if I'll get through it all or not. That's why I'm rushing through. Darla, so good to see you. And Philip Turner, yeah, we need new inventions. I don't know what that could be. Oh, I saw a gun today, man. I'm going to tell you what. If I had $800, I would buy it. But it's a shotgun. It looks sort of like an AR, but it's got a drum cylinder on it that holds 50 12-gauge shotgun rounds. Man, I'll tell you what, I saw that thing and I fell in love with it. I mean, it's heavy as heck, but good Lord, 50 shotgun rounds, semi-automatic, fast as you pull the trigger. Oh man, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Could you imagine having 50 double-aught buckshot and slugs popping out of that thing about 3 a second? That'd be awesome. But if guns are declared illegal, the sole role of the government shifts from regulation of gun control, regulating the guns, to incarceration of those who have guns. You see what I'm saying? So not just does our role change when it pertains to our weapons, the role of the government changes, and it changes, from enforcing regulations to enforcing incarceration. And that's what it's all about, Darla. Tony Patriot, glad you're here, brother. I know you're working. I'm glad you took the time to pop in, my dear friend. Thank you. And Jeff Brandow, good to see you. Always good to see my friends. I've got more people in here tonight than I even dreamed I would have. So thank you all for being here. And we can ban firearms if that's what they want to do. And and by banning firearms would end any regulations of firearms. Banned weapons will be sold on the street corners like drugs. You see, they start banning weapons and they try to take ours away. Well, first of all, they come to my house, they're going to get shot. I mean, they're going to kill me, sure. But they're not taking my God-given right to own a gun without a fight. I'm just not going to do it. They're not taking my property. They're not going to do it. The Constitution allows me that right to own that weapon. And unless I've broken some law, they have no right to come knocking on my door. When they start selling guns on the street corners, these guns are going to be stolen. They're going to be untraceable. Rubbing off on Bobby. Yeah, you are Dangerous Freedom, my dear friend. Thank you, brother. I know you've been here, Tony. I haven't been looking at the chat, brother. I'm sorry. It's been, one of those days. I'm still getting over the flu, and I don't feel that well. And I'm just trying to get through this before my hour's up. So I haven't even been paying attention to the chat, and I apologize to that, my dear friends. Each and every one of you deserve to be shouted out. Chris Link, Darla Tidwell, Philip Turner, Dangerous Freedom, Lynn M, Stake 59, Willman 757, Tony Patriot, Pete the Patriot, DM DeMod. We've got Darla Tidwell and Linda Horner. We got all these great people in here, so I'm glad you're here. But you know, incarceration rates, we'll see new felonies will have to be created. You see, now it's not a felony to have a weapon, but if they take them away from us, well, then they're going to have to make up new regulations, new felonies, and that's what they're going to charge us for. It's going to be laws that we've never seen before once they start confiscation. But we're not going to allow that to happen. And by not allowing that to happen, we're going to stand true to our Constitution and to our Bill of Rights. We're going to stand behind this president. We're going to re-elect him again in 2020. We're not going to have to worry about this gun confiscation stuff. They can try all they want to. President Trump learned his lesson on the bump stocks, my friends. He saw when he banned bump stocks or allowed the ATF to do so, he saw that, boy, he had done the wrong thing for American patriots, because we don't stand for people messing with our Second Amendment. So he learned his lesson, I think. He's done nothing since then against our Second Amendment, and as long as he stays that way, he'll have my support. You know, a war on guns is a war that can't be won. The lessons learned on the war on drugs should prove that point. We've had a war on drugs since before Reagan. Remember, Nancy Reagan always said, just say no. I'll tell you what, just saying no don't always get it. But yeah, since Reagan, we've been fighting the war on drugs. And we're losing that battle as well. It's all about the supply and demand, my friends. It's all about the supply and demand. This demon rat idea of gun control and confiscation simply will not work in any form. At least not in my house. I say this as a statement of pure fact. Come for my guns, and I will give you my guns. As Dangerous Freedom says, one bullet at a time. If you think I'm bluffing, you think I'm kidding you, if you see this somewhere, if you're thinking about coming and taking my guns, yeah, I'm not bluffing, people. Come and try me. You can take my guns from my cold, dead hands. But I will not die alone, I promise. I promise you that fact. Some of you gun grabbers will absolutely die at my hands and by my guns. You may take me out, but I'm not going alone. I'm old enough and mean enough and sick enough to where I just don't care anymore. You know, I did my military service of 7 years. Well, 6 years, 10 months, and 10 days. I counted every day of it. The fact of the matter is we are the front line. You and I, my friends, we are the front line. I speak with Dangerous Freedom and Liberty Smith and others like American Warhorse and Stony Stone. You can't make this shot up. We have to stand on our Second Amendment. We have to be prepared to fight. The fight's going to come to us if we want it or not. In time, it's going to come. This is not just going to go away. Take a look at the impeachment process and all of the garbage and the lies that have been spewed out there, and how the Republicans have been hushed down and not allowed to ask questions, and witnesses told, don't answer that question. It's all a farce. It's all a game. It's like that snowball, Stony Stone, you showed me the other day that catches fire. It's an enigma. It's nothing like it should be. We need to take back our Congress. We need to keep our Senate. We need to keep our president in office. That's what we as American patriots need to do. Is we need to stand firm on the Constitution and our Bill of Rights. We need to put God back in schools. We need to put the Pledge of Allegiance back in our schools. I've said it before, when I was in the military and I'd be walking down the sidewalk at 5 o'clock when they played taps, man, there'd be people running for the building so they wouldn't have to stop and turn and face the direction of the flag and stand at attention and salute. I'm going to tell you, friends, I enjoyed standing at attention and saluting the flag every single time I ever had the opportunity. People, I'm an American patriot. I've done my time in service, but I have never been relieved of my oath of service. I've heard people say that many times, but I live that. I live by that. My discharge is hanging right there on the wall. I have two of them, two honorable discharges. It's an honor and a pleasure to have served this country. To stand at attention and salute the American flag while they play taps, or reveille for that matter. I always welcome the opportunity to stand at attention and look at my flag, the flag that God graced America with, that stands for the purity and the truth and the American way. You know, I've said it many times, the American flag, you know, it's right here. You know, you have the stars representing the states. You have the blue for the union of our country. You have the red for the blood that was shed for this flag. And the white for purity of heart, that we always look to God for right over wrong. And that's what we need to do in America, is get back to the basics. We need to get back to the beginning. We need to get back to where God and country and family mean everything. We have to keep God in our nation. They're removing God from every facet of society. And that's where the corruption comes in. That's where the mind working goes. That's how they teach our children and what they teach them in school. You know, I learned to love America. You know, I learned to be proud to be an American, because nobody in the world had the freedoms that we have, and they still don't. So everybody, I'm winding down. Hey, Becky Taylor, glad to see you. I know I've been rambling on, but I haven't done a video since Sunday, and I got wound up, but that's just the way I am. You know that. I'm glad that I feel a little bit better, and I was able to come and sit here for the whole hour with my friends. I want to thank you. The number is dropping pretty quick, so I guess people are getting ready to go. But before I go, I want to say one thing. Lord God, Heavenly Father, we thank you, God, for this country. God, we thank you for the opportunity to grow up in a nation, Lord, where we still call your heavenly name. God, we thank you for the many blessings that you give us, and Lord, the many that we don't even recognize. But God, as we leave here tonight, Lord, go with me, go with my friends in this chat, and Lord, those who love you. Lord, go with them, lead them, guide them, bless them, Lord. Lead them in the path that you'd have them to go. In Jesus' name, I pray these things. So be it, and amen. Everybody, I'll be here Sunday morning at 11 o'clock. Please join me at 11 o'clock for an in-depth, chapter by chapter, verse by verse Bible study. I'm going into chapter 4 of Genesis. So come with me, and we're going to go through chapter 4 and 5 Sunday morning at 11 o'clock. I promise you, you'll hear things you haven't heard before. Hey, Liberty Smith, glad you made it, brother. I'm fixing to get out of here. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America. Let's keep America free. Let's keep America great. I love y'all. And I will see y'all 11 o'clock Sunday morning. I hope you're here. If not, I'll see you Sunday night. God bless. Y'all have a good night.